the 9-9.
Front pass up scores! Jonah Cochrane!
Welcome back to the long anticipated, long awaited return of Puck Talk with the Brantford 99ers. We're now on episode 9, and I'm joined alongside the team captain, Jonah Cochrane. Jonah, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and I look forward to chatting with you.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. Now, we're recording this on Friday. By the time this is posted, you guys would have played Caledon, but let's talk about last night's victory over Milton first. How big was that, especially chasing the playoffs? How big was that for the team?
Oh, you know what? It's huge. We have a lot of people doubting our team, but behind the scenes, no one sees what's happening, right? Like I've never had such a tight-knit team. Everyone's come together at the perfect time. So we're pushing for playoffs, and last night's win is just another step in the right direction. I've said it from the beginning, it's going to be a completely different year. And I think if teams take us lightly, we'll definitely prove them wrong.
Now let's talk about the trade deadline that just passed less than 10 days ago. Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to a couple guys, but we also got to welcome a couple new additions. Why don't you tell me your thoughts about those guys and the thoughts about the staff, how they did during the trade deadline?
Oh, so coaching staff, owners, and everyone they did a fantastic job. Yeah, sadly we lost some key players to our team, but I think and everyone thinks that we brought in some power up front and goaltending. So I think that what they have done for the team already and from the beginning of the year, I think we did really well on the trade deadline, bringing in Aaron, Dawson, Lukey, Aiden Russell, and Groves. So. Grove's already they've all played really well. Grover still on his head in Burlington, and all the guys have produced already. So they've already had a big part in what we're doing and what we're pushing for playoffs, and they have a voice in the room already. And I feel like bringing those guys in are going to help make that push for playoffs.
Now, speaking of playoffs, you guys are right in the hunt, just trailing behind Burlington and Patriots. I think just 2 points behind on Burlington. The Cougars and Patriots, they have to finish up a game that actually had to be postponed. But after that, they will only have 2 games in hand, I believe. So there, with 14 games left on the season, anything can happen, right? So I want to kind of rewind a bit and talk about your upbringing in hockey. So I know you played Brantford minor hockey. You are from Simcoe, but you played Brantford 99ers growing up through their AAA system. And then you found yourself with the Wellington Dukes. How about you tell me how you ended up there?
Yeah, so it all started back U18. That's when I had started talking to Wellington about the upcoming season. It didn't end up happening just because of COVID. So I stayed kind of local. Went and played for the KW Siskins in the GOJHL. Didn't play all that year because of COVID, just like everyone else. So the following season, when we were allowed to play, I chose Wellington. It was a great spot. Coaching staff was great. I just felt it was the best situation for myself. So I loved it up there. It was awesome. Short stay though, so I was only there for about a month and a half. And I was traded to Halliburton, and that the situation over there was awesome as well. We were set up just like professionals. They treated us really well. Great team as well. I've learned from a lot of great leaders, and I would say that's the best team to learn from. The captain there, Nathan Porter. He was a great mentor. I looked up to all of those guys. But yeah, no, it was awesome. Time in Wellington, Halliburton were great. And then last year, I decided to make the move back to Brantford, and I love it here.
So was that move a trade or did you sign with the 99ers?
So the move from Halliburton to Brantford was a trade. Um,
Okay.
I requested to come back home and play for the home team. It counted as a home team, right? Because I
Yeah,
played
for sure.
nine years in Brantford, so it's home to me for sure.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, the team had some struggles last year, but how did it feel, coming back home where you grew up playing, getting to play in front of your family and friends every game, as opposed to them having to make the trip? What was that like to kind of have that reunion back at the Gretzky Center?
It's surreal. I loved it. That rink's awesome, and being able to have my family and friends come to every game is awesome, and that them supporting me throughout my hockey career, it's huge. Like you said, we didn't have the greatest season last year, but I want to put that in the past and keep buzzing this year. So I'm hoping we can turn a lot of heads like we already have and keep pushing in the right direction.
Absolutely. It has definitely been a complete 180 from last year's season, from top to bottom. How about you tell me a little bit about your the other captains on the team, your supporting captains?
Yeah, so like we have a great core of leadership, whether they have a letter or not. But
Sure.
starting with like Evan Kojikaro, JD, and Ando, no, they're great guys. They got bright futures ahead of them. Um, I have nothing but good things to say about them. Same with other guys that don't have the letters. I think our leadership is one of the best. Um, everyone's keeping each other up no matter what the situation is, whether we're losing or battling the puck every night. But no, they've done great things with leading the younger guys coming in. Um, and I think they're a great support system as well. So for the younger guys coming in, I think that they're a great example for what they have to come. So I think they've done a great job so far.
I do notice that you guys are very vocal on the bench, which is a good thing, and you guys keep it positive in every way and very motivating. I can hear it from, like you were saying, players that also don't have letters. I notice you kind of being a mentor to the younger defensemen, such as Simon Wang, Hudson Gill. I notice you working with them, talking with them during games on the bench. You have played last number of games as Simon's D partner. Why don't you talk to me about your role in, helping develop his game and if you can compare it to, any situation you had back when you were his age. Yeah.
Yeah, so like me starting my first year, it's hard for everyone, right? Like you're coming into a league where before you might have been the top guy in your minor hockey league or your previous league, coming into a league where it's faster, harder, and more talent. Um, so it is a hard jump, but nonetheless, they've all got unreal talent. So yeah, me being able to help them in any situation and be there for them is great. But yeah, starting back to my rookie year, it was surreal. I had great mentorship. My captain was on the D corps as well in Halliburton. The amount of times that they would just come over during practice, games, everything, just to get my motivation up and keep my head up. And no matter what I did, whether it was a bad shift, bad game, they were always there for me to keep uh, pushing me in the right direction. So I give everything that I have to them. I appreciate everything they did for me, and uh, basically I want to take everything that they did for me and give back to the guys coming in. So I try to do my best every day to help those guys stay in the right direction, no matter how they're doing in the games or practices. But yeah, no, I'm always there for the guys on the team, their family. I love them. But yeah, I'll do anything for those boys.
For sure. And speaking on that, this is your final year of eligibility for Junior A hockey. You actually just celebrated your birthday 2 days ago, the big 21. Do you have plans? Do you know what you're doing next year? Are you wanting to pursue hockey, school, or are you just kind of taking it day by day?
Taking it day by day. Obviously, the original goal was to go to the OHL. I was drafted by Kingston in my U16 year. Although that didn't work out, I think looking at the school route, it's just as good. It's under hockey, but yeah, taking it day to day, whether it's youth sports or going to the States. But right now, I'm actually looking at applying to school for paramedics.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, but exciting at the same time, knowing
Oh, for
that
sure.
future's coming up, and I'm excited to see what happens. But regardless, whether it is in hockey or my education, but I won't stop playing hockey regardless of where it goes.
Fantastic. And last question for you, Jonah. Number 7. Any significance behind that number?
I mean, not necessarily, but all I'd say is I've worn it all through minor hockey. I was actually originally number 77, but it was taken in Brantford, so stuck with number 7 my entire minor hockey, and I wasn't able to grab it my first year, but I was able to snag it back in Brantford, so it's I don't know, lucky number 7, so I want to stick with it for as long as I can.
Fair enough. Well, Jonah, I want to thank you for your time, and I wish the team the best of luck in their playoff push, and I can't wait to see what your future holds.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, Bernasty.
Absolutely. Tune in next week when I sit down with another member of the Brantford 99ers.
99! 99!
The 9-9.
We're the 99.